subs. Whoop, let's go. Hursty Games, and this is how we do. Now it's time.
Hey there guys, and welcome back to Hursty Games, and welcome to a video today where we're going to talk about the best cheap super subs available in FIFA 22. And when I say cheap, I mean cards that are less than 10,000 coins. I've got 12 cards that I think personally are the best super subs across all positions, barring goalkeeper, on the pitch, that you can make late in a game or at halftime or whenever you need a super sub in a game. Now there is also going to be one bonus player at the end of this who is slightly more than 10,000 coins, but in my opinion is the best super sub I've used in my experience. This guy has saved me in multiple games, and if you watch the streams you know exactly who that is, and you know exactly what to put in the comments right now. But if this video ends up helping you, then please do leave a comment on this video and leave a like as well to let me know you've enjoyed it. If you're new, hit that sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime we upload. But for now, let's get into our best super subs of FIFA 22. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to start off with defenders, and we're starting off with ROUIGER. Now, ROUIGER for me is an absolute beast in this game. He is so good. Obviously, at the time of recording this, but later down the line, if you're watching this, he's currently out of packs for the Rule Breaker promo. But this guy is an absolute beast. Honestly, does a great job. And the reason that a lot of people are a little bit skeptical to use this card sometimes is he's got quite low stamina. But if you're bringing him on as a super sub, it doesn't really matter. If he's only playing 45 minutes of football, 69 stamina, that doesn't make a difference. This guy is honestly really solid and does such a good job for me late in games if I need it. There's been a couple of times where I've got my main centre back sent off. I bring this guy on and he makes a very big difference for me. And you know, just comes in and does exactly the job. He replaces like a Kimpembe or a Marquinhos as the two that I currently use. And if they get sent off, he comes on and I don't really feel like I've missed them. Obviously, I miss a player elsewhere, but he comes in and does a solid job at centre back for me. And I would say almost equally as good in the centre back position, honestly, is EDER MILITÁO. This guy, again, is an absolute beast. Has that highest stamina, but isn't the end of the world if he's coming on at halftime or, you know, with the last 10 minutes or whatever. But EDER MILITÁO, again, very good. I've actually used this guy once or twice as well as a DM. Now, I would say he's much better as a centre-back. There are better DM subs that we can get into in a mo, but he does do a job there if you really need him to. But I would say as a centre-back, EDER MILITÁO is a fantastic super sub that you can definitely rely on. Now, I'm going to look at a fullback here. We've only got one fullback on this list because I think fullbacks this year are either expensive and very good and equal the price that they're worth, or they're quite cheap. And there's a lot of them that just aren't good enough for the price that they are. However, an exception to that rule is ROUSSILLON. This guy is very good, and you see a lot of people run this card in their main teams, let alone as a super sub. But ROUSSILLON for me is one of the best Bundesliga centre backs in the game. Gets some very nice links with being French anyway, but as a super sub, obviously you don't have to worry about the links. This guy, again, will come on and will do a job. He just works for me. I think he's physical. The physicality stats don't necessarily for me add up to what he does. He does way more than his physicality stats suggest, in my opinion. I think this guy's a real good card. And again, if late into a game you've got a really tired left back or a really tired right back, bring on ROUSSILLON and he will cover that position for you fantastically and do you a very good job. I haven't got too many defenders here because I think that more often than not, you don't tend to make defensive changes unless there's a very tired fullback or indeed a red card happens. So for me personally, midfielders and attackers are more likely to be an important substitution for you in game. And the first one I'm going to start off with, in my opinion, is one of the best defensive mid substitutions you can make, and that is RENATO Sanchez. This guy, yet again, last year was fantastic. This year, he's equally good. I bring this guy on all the time to see games out. I tend to run with a slightly more box-to-box DM and a defensive DM. For a while, I ran Pogba as my box-to-box, and if I just needed to see a game out, I brought RENATO Sanchez, and it was literally just like bringing on a 12th man, because he just does so much defensively in this game. But also on the ball, he's very good. He can do a decent pass. He's very good at dribbling. He's physical. He's strong defensively. Honestly, RENATO Sanchez for me is one of the must-haves in this game as a super sub. If you don't have the coins to go out and buy a crazy expensive DM and have somebody sat there on the bench, you know, like you don't have like a Llorente on the bench or you know, like a De Jong, this guy's cheap as chips and will do just as good a job as any other super sub DM in the game. Like genuinely, it's like having a little cheap Vieira on your bench. It's ridiculous. I love RENATO Sanchez and he is a must-have from this list, I have to say. Someone a bit more attacking is VALVERDE. Still kind of a DM, but for me is a little bit edging on that box to box. I think his work rate, yeah, he's high work rate, so he can kind of do both. But Valverde for me is another very good suggestion. And if we're looking for someone to be quite defensive but also have the capability of box-to-box, Valverde for me is a very good suggestion for you. I think he does a very good job, and his passing is very helpful late game as well, because he'll find a good pass. He's got good stamina, and I think he just does a very good job off the bench, especially as does Canales. Now Canales is more of that box-to-box, if not verging on sort of like a cam really, but for me there's a slightly better cam substitution coming up. But Canales, again, if you're looking to get a second goal, I would say Valverde or Canales could be a good little attacking DM to bring on, because Canales' stats are actually very good. His passing out of the three is the best out of the midfielders we've looked so far. Has the dribbling, has decent agility, decent-ish balance as well. Not a pushover, he's got decent enough strength. But if you bring him on with, say, like an anchor or something like that, the defense and physicality is just that little bit boosted anyway. And for me, he just plays a really good pass from deep forward to your more attacking players, but then he can join them and still offer something going forward too. So Canales for me is also a decent choice. Again, if you haven't got the coins to go and spend massive on a very good box-to-box DM, Canales for me is a very good substitution for that. But for like a cam, especially like a central cam, Nabil Fekir for me is the guy to go to. I have his road to the knockouts in my actual team, and I absolutely love his card. If you don't have that card, or you don't have the coins for that card, I think it's been and gone now anyway. Fekir's regular card is still very good. The only stinker on this card, I think, across the entire thing for his base, is the acceleration and sprint speed split. It's a little bit iffy. I would say you kind of need to put something speed boosting just to get the sprint speed up a little bit. But honestly, this guy is disgustingly good. His shooting is great. His passing is fantastic. He can dribble like it's going out of style. And I really do recommend this guy as a substitution for you. Again, if you did his road to the knockout, great shout. Fantastic card. And I absolutely love it. But if you didn't do it, or you didn't have the coins to do it, or whatever, his regular card, again, an absolute beast. And as a central cam, can do you the business. I think a little bit too slow as a super sub to come on as a wide cam, depending on how you play and your play style. But I would say as a central cam, Fekir is one of the best, if not the best, cheap cam to kind of bring on for your team. We're going to look at some more pacey, some more wide attacking options now. We're going to start off with Vinicius Jr. I'm sure this came as no surprise. Vinicius Jr. is an incredible card. He is basically the Adama Traore of this year. Because Adama Traore was just very quick and could still score despite low shooting. Vinicius has the skills, he's got the dribbling, he's got the pace, he's got iffy shooting, but his shooting is better than the card suggests. I don't find this a difficult goal to score when I bring on Vinicius and he's on the ball in an attacking position. He does the job for me. So for Vinicius, I think kind of speaks for himself. Good pace, good skills, good dribbling, decent enough shooting, got the passing. Incredibly easy decision to make, and incredibly cheap as well. It's always worth bearing in mind to see if he's a special card, because he's already getting himself a handful of special cards, so try and buy him when he's not in special cards and he's in packs, because he's just a little bit cheaper. The next option is somebody you could change out for another player, and that is Chiesa. He has got a very similar card to Timo Werner. If you have Timo Werner and you like Timo Werner, then feel free to stick with him. Chiesa for me is just ever so slightly better. I love Timo Werner. He doesn't quite make this list because I brought in Chiesa ahead of him. The main thing is Chiesa's got the 4-star. Otherwise, they're very similar cards. But Chiesa has got decent enough pace, and it's a really nice pace split as well. Very solid shooting, good passing. Dribbling is beautiful as well. And he's not weak, but for a winger, he's physical enough, I would say. So as a wide option, he's not bad at all. I brought him on as striker a couple of times when I was early days, and I had this guy as a super sub. He did a decent enough job for me. He got a lot of assists coming on as a striker in like a 4-2-2. But yeah, I really did enjoy Chiesa as a super sub, and I do highly recommend him. But going into some strikers as well, AUBAMEYANG, fantastic card. Yet again this year, he's been given another decent card. Despite the downgrades, very worth your time. Very worth using. I really do like AUBAMEYANG. The balance doesn't feel like much of an issue, I'm going to be honest with you. Despite the 67 balance, it's not something I notice. I don't sit there and think to myself, oh, that kind of ruins the card. Visually, it makes you question it, but it doesn't affect him in my opinion. I don't think it's a problem. But his shooting stats, his attacking stats are fantastic. He's got a bit of height to him as well, and you can see he's got decent jumping, decent heading accuracy, so he's not bad at that either. Bit of an all-rounder, and late into a game, he will come on and he will offer you something late into a game with the pace, with the shooting. But if you're looking for someone who's more of a target man, talking to the jumping and heading and stuff, honestly, Ilicic has got terrible jumping and heading, but he scores so many headers for me. It's ridiculous, honestly. Ilicic is really quite good. I used Lewandowski a lot early on, and I realised that I quite like having a target man. I use Mario Gomez at the moment, at the time of recording this. Ilicic, for me, offers what they offer, but he also has 5-star skills. I was massively unaware of this, that in real life he's particularly skillful. I've now seen a couple of games of him playing. He's pretty skillful, but he's 6'3". He's left-footed, which for me personally, I think a left-footed player does often give your opponent something to think about, because instinctively, if you don't know what foot a player uses, I don't know about you, I tend to try and stop him using his right foot because it's just my assumption. But Ilicic offers something fantastic off the bench, and again, his heading and stuff is better than the card suggests. He scores goals for me, a lot of headers as well. The low stamina you don't need to worry about because he's coming on late into the game. The pace isn't a huge problem. I would honestly say an engine and you're absolutely fine, because his shooting is disgusting as well. But yeah, this is a bit of a weird one. But Ilicic is mainly to offer you something different if you like a target man, or if you're realising you're getting a lot of crosses in. Ilicic is somebody to bring on. Don't let the heading stats deter you, because it doesn't really affect him for me. Into like the sort of little bonus players here, one that I am absolutely in love with. He is still in my team to this day, and that is Ben Yedder. Yes, the rat himself. He's incredible this year. I absolutely love Ben Yedder. He scores goals for fun. I think he's at about 6k at the time of filming this, so he's well and truly under that 10k mark anyway. But yeah, Ben Yedder is unbelievable. His left stick dribbling, his L1 dribbling as well. His shooting is a cheat code. The skills are very, very good. The agility and balance is outrageous. His shooting is disgusting. The pace split is really nice, so a small boost if you want him off the bench. Or indeed, as you can see, I run him with a Hunter in my starting 11. He just offers everything. Ben Yedder is so, so good, and with him being as cheap as he is, he's a definite pickup for me. I really do think he's very, very good. But the best substitute in the game, slightly over that 10k bracket, he sits at 13k, and you'll have to get a different version of him from the one I've got if you didn't complete him. That is Talisca. Now, more importantly, Inform Talisca, I obviously have his one to watch, which was a free card to get, but his Inform is 13,000 coins roughly on both consoles right now. This is the best super sub in the game, and I stand by that. I will show you his goals and games and everything. A lot of those games where he hasn't scored, he's literally come on just before a penalty shootout, or he's come on with like 10 minutes to go. We have a phrase on this channel, or two really, which is, it's a Talisca kind of game, which basically means I'm going to bring him at halftime and he's going to score a goal, and more often than not he does. Or just Talisca time, which is very simply, again, this man is going to score goals. He is disgusting. His finesse shots are incredible. His dribbling, fantastic. His balance, much better than 77 suggests. He's physical. He can shoot. He can pass. He can run. This guy's perfect. He is the perfect card. And if you haven't used him and you have 13,000 coins just to spare, buy the Inform, chuck him on your bench. I used him with a basic for about 50 of those games you saw the stats for there. I've recently put a Hunter on him because I had a Hunter spare and decided, why not? I'll put the Hunter on him. Talisca's the best card. Period. I love him. I absolutely love him. And until a different card comes out or until he gets an upgrade, nothing is changing my mind. Honestly, my favourite card this FIFA. No two words of a lie. I've used icons, I've used heroes, I've used all sorts of cards. This is my favourite card this year. I absolutely love Talisca. So those are my best super subs in this FIFA, and obviously Talisca and Yedder, a few little bonuses as well there for you. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. If you have, then please do leave a like. Supports me, the video, and the channel out a whole bunch. If you're new, hit that sub button and turn notifications on to be told anytime that we upload a video. If you want to catch us on the live streams, Hursty Games over on Twitch, there is a link in the description, and while you're down there, check out our channel sponsors of M21 and Real Footy Prints. Code Hursty will get you a discount at both. But for now, guys, I want to say a massive thank you for watching. I've been Tom, you guys have been awesome, and I will see you soon. Look after yourselves, and of course, wash your hands. In a bit, guys.
Hursty. Slap bald head, yeah, it'll probably hurt me. Bang top bins, it'll probably hurt you. Ginger, streamer, platform, YouTube. Drop a name in the chat, or say hello. Entertain, yeah, you already know. Capital H, yeah, I'm a read it slow. Hursty Games, yeah, you already know.